Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is December 14, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. markets rocked to new record highs after Fed Chairman Powell keeps interest rates in check and signals that for 2024, they're going to start decreasing and cutting interest rates. Now, first, looking at today's major economic events. So this turn, it's on this side of the map, starting out at 2 p.m. South African time. First, out of Great Britain, we have a MPC, official bank rate. That's an interest rate decision. And then at 3:15 South African time, out of the European Union, a main refinancing rate, also an interest rate decision. And then at 3:30 South African time, out of the United States, a monthly retail sales number coming out. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, US dollar tanks versus the major pairs. And as we look at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ to new record highs. Now, looking at commodities, gold gets a nice spike on the upside and oil bouncing. Now, looking at the stocks specifically, it was Apple, Amazon, and the banks that push the markets higher. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin gets a bounce. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD. Look at this move. I mean, we haven't had such a move like this in quite some time, where we spiked so high, so quickly, so easily, so fast. Now we're at 108.97. Now basically, looking at the chart, we're about 50% from our correctional move of 110 down to 107. So this is not a big deal, okay? It's at 109-ish level, so which keeps us somewhat in the 50% range. Now, I do expect some sort of correctional move today, okay? Firstly, because this is a fade move, which means that it's a correctional move that will follow on the downside because, you know, a lot of this is still speculation, right? I mean, this is interest rates haven't changed, inflation hasn't changed, and it's just going on the news that in the future that the Fed will start cutting interest rates. So that hasn't happened really yet. So, you know, it's really irrelevant for right now if you think about it, okay? Now, looking at today's activity, remember, the euro is coming out. The European Central Bank is coming out with a main refinancing rate. So that's going to affect it as well. Now, looking at the GBP, let's take a look at it. Also, did get orbital here to 126, but just being aware, it's coming out with its own set of interest rate decision today as well. So it's going to affect the British pound as well. Now, jumping into the Japanese yen, really made back that real estate that it lost earlier in the week, and it's right back down to this 141. Now, we are getting into some turbulent area where we're supporting, and I expect some sort of bounce at some point. Now, jumping into commodities, looking at gold, nice spike to the upside from 1880-ish level up to 2030. That's a 50-point move, a very, very sharp move in a very fast time. Now, looking at it right now, it's also 50% of what its retracement was. Okay, so this would be a dead cat bounce. I would expect it to correct itself at this area. So just be aware of it. Okay, now looking at crude oil, got also a bit of a bounce above $70 a barrel, just hanging on to that, okay? But it's at that supportish level, so just be aware of that as well. And I'd like to see it consolidate here before it possibly takes higher, okay? That's my play here on oil. Now, jumping into the U.S. markets, the Dow Jones. Here we are. It's not mentioned here, but it's the Dow Jones at 37,576. It's 1,000 points higher than its all-time record highs. Okay, so that is unbelievable that in 2 days we just rocked so much higher. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, also trading at 16,800-ish level. Now, this is about 200 points above its all-time highs, but let's take a look at the stocks. Apple coming up and making new record highs for this year, 2023, at 197. Now, remember, Apple did a crazy split about 2 years ago. So that split is still on its record highs and it's higher. So conceivably, this thing would have been about $700, about $600 to $700 per share back in the day before it split. So that's a major, major move on the upside as well. Now, looking at the other major stocks, what was the other ones that went up? JP Morgan pushing higher as well, but Bank of America really took the cake, okay, to $32 a share, okay? Now, it's going to continue this momentum kind of trading where, we're going to have a set of assets that are going to go up. Then there's going to be another one. There's going to be another one. Amazon did as well this time also to its highs at 148. Okay, didn't break out higher, but it's on its highs. Remember, this also was the one that did a crazy split. If you remember, 20-1, which was an amazing split. Okay, so markets are rebounding big. AMD continued plugging higher as well, as that has made new highs for the year and making it very close to that 159-ish level. Now, lastly, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin making that step back to that 42,800-ish level, a nice big bounce. Also above its 50% retracement level, right? If we retrace from 44,000 down to 41,000, I would have expected it around this area to be about 50%. So this is really pivotal to see if it's going to continue going up higher, or is it going to correct itself back and retest that low of 40,000-ish level. Okay, then I want to keep that very abreast. Now, the markets are still active. Today, I do still expect some activity in the markets. Next week, we're going to probably simmer down as we were getting into the weekend. But I think we still have a lot of activity in the markets for today and tomorrow. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day.